Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see from my t-shirt and the title I will be giving this video, this is continuing my series about all my reflections on NaNoWriMo, recently officially ending all my mixed emotions, happy memories, and thoughts over the years, like how it descended into the bowels of hell so badly, why it didn't have to end this way, like going forward, how it impacted my writing for both good and bad, just all sorts of things like that. This is based off of a blog post that, as of the date of this video, has not yet gone live, but by the time that blog post does go live on the 23rd of June, this video will also be going live. I'm doing a little bit of bulk filming today. So anyway, this is going to be talking about it did not have to end like this. It's kind of thematically related to how the last video about how Nano badly unraveled over the years. So let's continue down that thought process. While hindsight is always 20/20, there was absolutely no reason NaNoWriMo had to devolve into flames and be unceremoniously buried the way it was. So many things could have easily been done differently along the way, like no-brainers, or even before the most serious problems cropped up. Always stay on top of everything and like a couple of steps ahead, particularly when you have so many participants in like a nonprofit you claim to take seriously. If interim director Kilby, that's a pseudonym by the way, her real name is Kim, was honest about there being major financial issues years before the main scandals that she claimed in a recent F you, we're shutting down video, why in the world didn't the old board say anything about it? There was more than enough community goodwill still existing in 2017, 2018, 2019 for Rymos to step up and help with donations. Instead, the board wasted money on an awful website redesign, and I, see from obviously my own memories, I have an elephantine memory, plus the screenshot I took, I have a whole collection grouped into folders by, the Nano by year and including all the Camp Nanos as well. They're talking about the Great NaNoWriMo road trip was happening from June 5th through 18th, and this is in 2018. During the drive, we're raising funds for a big important journey, a redesign of the Nano website, and they have a camper with a bike and stuff on it with mountains and trees in the backgrounds. The redesign of the Nano website. We want our site to be better at helping you reach your writing goals, encouraging year-round creative habits, and expanding our amazing community. It's going to be awesome. Give today to drive us towards a redesigned site for 2018, and I guess for whatever reason, they didn't have enough money yet or other issues going on behind the scenes, they didn't roll this redesign out until 2019. Oh, it was such a huge downgrade. Seriously, I went into that in more detail in the previous video. There's a screenshot of Kilby telling another member of the board, which I have not seen this, but I just heard about this recently on Reddit too. Starve it of oxygen regarding the child grooming scandal. That's just jaw-dropping in the Young Writers program. In other words, sweep it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen, as though this were nothing more than an attention-seeking troll leaving rude comments. Yet for that kind of person, if you're the owner of the blog or the YouTube channel, Instagram account, whatever, delete that comment and just move on. And if it's nasty enough, blacklist that person from future commenting, or if the person is replying to you on someone else's video or blog post, just don't reply. They're looking to get a rise out of you. They want to upset you. They want a reaction. Yeah, for that. But this is way more than just some troll trying to cause problems on social media. It's a serious criminal matter. The board thought this mess would naturally sort itself out since the perp was terminally ill and has now passed away. Again, I'm lost for words. That's not how any of this works. That just removes the guilty party, not the massive underlying child safeguarding failure. Kilby had the audacity to call people rightly raising alarms as religious mom types and purity culture enthusiasts. Wow, I'm so freaking lost for words. There's a meme in this post. Sorry I annoyed you with my concern for innocent children. Remember when basic child safeguarding was seen as just common sense, not inherently right-wing or conservative or extremist in any way? That says a lot about what their mind is thinking. You have well and truly been ideologically captured if you decide to sweep the matter of a mod grooming minors and sending them to his adult baby fetish website under the rug. I mean, I heard this like so many times from people claiming to be. I don't really believe they are. You're like leftists. I call them like faux aggressives and neoliberals, not to get too political. But for some reason, this narrative has emerged that if you care about child safeguarding, you're not really caring about it. You're just trying to own the libs, and you must be a right wing extremist. And why are so many actual old school lefties like myself very concerned about failures in child safeguarding in many things like over the years, like not to get too political or give examples, but I'm sure you can think of them. I just hate how this idea has emerged, this like stupid woke narrative. Oh, the only reason you would care about child safeguarding is because you're just like doing it for political brownie points and you must really be conservative. Like, get out of your damn group think, like echo chamber bubbles. This is like I just have no words for like people who would think like that. The moment such accusations were made, and by multiple teens, all telling a consistent, similar story, the board should have stepped in to relieve this smod of his position, report him to authorities, point the teens towards resources to help with healing, and take steps to assure this never happened again. This dude apparently had at least 2 fetishes. Instead, their only response was to disable all forums when the FBI got involved and they could no longer ignore it. I'm so lost for words. No wonder they lost heaps and heaps of community trust and goodwill when that thing broke. Though Kilby was the one steering the sinking ship at the end. This started happening under the leadership of previous executive director Grant Faulkner, and I just found out the other day, another surprise I didn't know, he has signed many forms, not all of them, but like I think a good percentage of them related to Nano with his middle name, Grant. Yeah, that's cool. He goes by his middle name. I also use my middle name for this channel, but his real like legal first name is William. I understand he didn't want to be confused or like make people think, oh, you're playing a joke because, oh, William Faulkner, the famous writer who's now dead. So yeah, of course he's going to go by Grant instead. But like seriously, you should always use your legal name when you're signing tax documents or something like that. Even if there's very like good reasons or just for your own like personal preference, you want to go by your middle name. He heard all of these complaints about the new website and the even more damning reports of teens being groomed, yet chose to do nothing. Seriously, like a lot of this like should be laid at his feet. His leadership also included the partnership with predatory vanity presses and the disturbing Yvonne the Icy Treasure Hunt gang, which was in 2017, I just recently discovered, which resembled a real terrorist bombing attack. They really did not think through the optics of that one. Though I only officially began participating in 2014, I believe people who say Nano started changing for the worse. For the worst when founder Chris Batty left in 2012. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his last name. Even before any of these scandals erupted or poor decisions were made, why did a writing challenge even need to become a nonprofit? Why would it need an annual operating budget of over $1 million? That just blows my mind. Why were its board members drawing 6-figure salaries? I think it was like $125K a year, I heard, for at least one of them. What exactly were they doing all year to merit making that kind of bank? I mean, I seriously want to know, like, what are the answers to all these questions? Their main expense should have remained the website, like a no-brainer, with other fees for marketing. Their old laptop loaner program, which required recipients to pay a $300 deposit, doesn't sound like much of it like helping the underprivileged program to me if they have to pay money they might not have for just using a laptop for a day or a week or whatever. Merchandise and donations to writing-related causes. If they were serious about being a nonprofit, they should have done more programs like laptop loaners and their partnership with Room to Read, which built libraries in Southeast Asia. Laptop loaners only lasted from 2002 to 2009, and the Room to Read partnership from 2004 to 2007. Again, what in the world were they spending all those donations on? The board's pieds à terre in the Andes, that was like a shock to me to discover too. The whole point of a non-profit is to not make money from donations and distribute those extra funds to causes and other organizations related to their cause. And almost the conspiracy like theorist, I mean, I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but like if my mind were bent that way, and even it just makes me wonder, were they deliberately doing all this as some kind of elaborate scheme to go bankrupt and earn money, or like a tax write-off, or like what? Something really like bigger was going on behind the scenes. It just So much evidence seems to suggest that. How about starting a program to mentor promising young writers from underprivileged communities? A summer camp for writers, literacy initiatives in the third world, a literary magazine with proceeds going to such charities, writing scholarships and awards, to name just a few such examples they really could have implemented and created and donated to if they were serious about being a writing related nonprofit. But nope, the money was going somewhere. We just had no idea beyond the garbage new website and the merchandise, which apparently by the last year of Nano 2024, it was like print on demand merchandise. The quality was not as good as their merchandise in the past. I also have one of their other shirts, and they had I guess pencils and drinking mugs and posters, and I think they might have had rulers, just a bunch of stickers, things like that. But even their merchandise deteriorated towards the end. It wasn't just the website that sucked goats. Why did they never deliver on their detailed promises to start doing background checks on MLs, municipal liaisons? Instead, Kilby fired all remaining MLs in April 2024 and never acquired any new ones during that final year. Like the writing was on the wall. MLs poured their time, energy, and money into Nano, often for many years, and didn't deserve to be repaid by that. She also thought the way to ensure teen safety was to totally remove minors from events. That's like taking athletes out of a competition because their coach abused them. You're punishing the wrong people, and I've heard some other former Rymos saying, "Oh, there was a problem with right-wing trolls on the Nano boards." That's news to me. I thought it was woke AF, particularly from the board on down. They never even had any boards for conservatives, and some people complained, "Oh, we don't like the background check service they're using because it requires people to give their birth name." That's kind of a basic component of a background check. If you have nothing to hide, why would you not want to give every legal name you've ever had? Are you trying to hide crimes you committed under the name you were born with? But moving on, that's a whole political thing for some people. And then the refusal to humble herself and apologize for any of these scandals. Kilby kept blaming community toxicity in various iterations thereof of that phrase, and insisting things like the board's pro-AI stance were maliciously misinterpreted. They weren't in the wrong for saying you're ableist, classist, and privileged for not thinking AI has any place in creative writing. You just totally misinterpreted us. I know we're going to insult you guys yet again and double down on our stance. We have no room for admitting we were wrong. We're not going to grow from this. This is particularly ironic coming from Voxers who are all about the struggle session. "Oh, thank you for telling me this. I will do better." What a productive struggle session. Now, thank you for telling me my opinions were totally wrong. I am listening. I am learning. We see you and we love you. That's just the kind of thing people like this would say all the time, and they don't apply their own standards to themselves. A year or two offline to sort out these massive problems might have saved the day and returned Nano to its roots as a fun writing challenge, but Kilby had to keep driving it right into the ground. Apparently, this is at least the second org she's destroyed. I really want to know more details about that first one, or maybe there are even 3 or more, and she's now hiding at her pied-à-terre in the Andes in South America. That was a huge shock to me to discover. She and a bunch of other former board members have these second homes in South America. And wow, what were you wasting all your money on that? Hiding from reality where people are facing real consequences from this. For example, the young writers, the teenagers, they lost all their stories, which apparently they had to type on the website. I didn't know that, unless they had backed up on their own devices and they were writing them by hand, or just so many people are emotional maelstrom. I realize it's not obviously the most traumatic thing, far from it, that could ever happen, but it's just real people are having a lot of emotions, and they're angry MLs who use their own time and money and energy and efforts all for so many years, and she's just, "Oh, screw you, figure it out on your own, handle the mess, it's over, I'm going off to South America to F around," or just so many things about this is just wow, I just don't understand. Problems only snowball when they're not nipped in the bud and seriously addressed as soon as possible. Like, seriously, I'm still like thinking through all these mixed emotions about the end of Nano. So thank you very much for watching all the way through to the end. And I will have maybe like 2 or so more videos in this series, as well as, of course, my other booktube and authortube videos. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you soon. Oh, remember, please, I really do appreciate comments. That lets me know people have watched all the way through. They're engaging with me as a presenter, like a YouTube personality. They like my subject matter, like the topics, or whatever, things like that. It just makes me feel like I'm more a part of the actual booktube and authortube community. So thanks again for watching. I will see you soon. Bye.